Good morning everyone, today we're going to be talking about where is the Meseta at and how to make a ton of it. But before we jump into the rest of the video, if you're new to the channel, I upload NGS content daily, so if you do play this game, I would really appreciate a subscribe as it really helps out the channel. Anyway, without further ado, let's begin the video. So I'm gonna cut straight to the chase, and it all revolves around the new capsule, the Glan Gigas Maste. You can see that this is the average price on ship 2, 5.8 million. However, when you click in it and you look at its current price, it's going for 7 million, which means it's going up. The prices are trending upwards. And this is going to continue to happen as long as the Gigas Maste prices continue to go up. Now, the reason why the Gigas Maste prices are going up is simply because it requires us to farm for these Fusia capsules over here, which you can obtain from Dual Quest Phase 1. So we can see here the Formidio Fusia. And when we go to Dual Quest over here, Dual Quest Phase 1, we click on that. As you can see here, Formidio Fusia, you get 3 of them for every time you get an S rank. The enemy short is level 70, you're 85, it's going to be a lot easier to clear this, but nevertheless, it is incredibly boring clearing the dual quest over and over and over and over again, only to get 3 of these Fusia capsules every S rank that you get. And unfortunately, Sega has not added a rank 2 that gives you more Fusia capsules. Honestly, they should just buff this amount because you need a crazy amount of the regular Fusia capsules in order to craft all of your Gigas Mastes. Because if we look over here at our Glan Gigas Maste, you actually need 5 regular Gigas Mastes, right? And in order to make 5 regular Gigas Mastes, you need 50 of these Fusia capsules. Even though you get 3 per run, farming 50 of these Fusia capsules is still a pain in the butt and is still very time consuming, which is why not a lot of people are doing it, and that's why the prices of the Gigas Mastes are going up. So now that we know why the Gigas Maste prices are so high, obviously it's also going to affect the Glan Gigas Maste. And the reason for this is very simple. It's simply because the Glan Gigas Maste needs 5 regular Gigas Mastes, and on top of that needs another 10 of the new Fusia capsule that you get in Dual Quest Phase 4, and also requires 10 Foundia capsules. And this is why the Glan Gigas Maste is so high in price at 7 million instead of its average price of 5.8 million, because everyone has bought out all of the cheap Gigas Mastes that were on the market a week ago, because you know, we didn't have the new Glan Gigas Maste yet, and people were like swimming in a bunch of regular Gigas Mastes, and we didn't really know what to use them for, and so people were just selling them on the market for normal prices. But in this past week, a ton of people have scooped all of the cheap Gigas Mastes in order to craft the Glan Gigas Maste to either use it for their own gear or to sell it on the market to make some profit. So now that we understand this pyramid model of the Glan Gigas Maste being at the very top at 7 million, as well as the regular Gigas Maste in the middle, what can we do as a regular player in order to make money? Well, at the very bottom of the ladder is going to be the Gigas Might 4, the Gigas Precision 4, as well as the Gigas Technique 4. These are the easiest to get because a lot of people are simply just going to buy it from the seasonal shop. If you look at the seasonal shop right now, you can actually exchange for a bunch of them. Let's go to the seasonal shop right here. We scroll down here, you can see that you can actually pick 10 of each of these capsules right away for 150 seasonal points. It's very easy to obtain these, so the prices of these are not going to be very high. So if we look at the prices of the Gigas Might 4s, you can see they're only going for 30,000. If we look at Gigas Precision 4, this one's going for 31,000, and if we look at Gigas Technique 4, this one's going for almost 30,000, 29,000. So you can clearly see that the Gigas Stat 4s are not worth a lot of money. However, this is the most bottom tier. So, you know, if you are super weak and you can't farm anything else, Gigas Techniques, Gigas Precision, as well as Gigas Might 4 is going to be your best bet. You're going to farm for these and you're going to sell them onto the market. However, in my personal opinion, if you're going to be farming all of the Gigas Stat 4s already, I recommend just sucking it up and actually farming the Fusia capsules and the Dual Quest Phase 1s in order to craft your Gigas Mastes. The reason for this is because each Gigas Maste is going for 1.3 million Meseta right now, which is a decent amount. However, I do think the prices might go even higher as eventually people will want to upgrade to the Glan Gigas Maste. Or better yet, you could farm up your 5 Gigas Mastes and then farm Dual Quest Phase 4 for the new Fusia capsules and craft the Glan Gigas Mastes yourself and just hold on to them or sell them depending on how you feel. But nevertheless, these capsules are worth a ton of money, and it's a really easy way to make a ton of Meseta. However, you do need the patience and you do need the time and the gear to actually do all of the dual quest stuff. Because again, when we look at dual quest over here, even if you do phase 1, sure, let's say we want to fight AMS over here, it's level 70, so yes, it's going to be significantly weaker and it's probably going to be a lot easier to defeat it. However, you do need to make sure that you get an S rank in order to get 3 of the Fusia capsules, because you're going to be doing a lot of runs of this in order to craft all of your different Gigas Mastes. Because remember, you need 50 of these in order to craft 5 of your Gigas Mastes, in order to craft 1 Glan Gigas Maste, which requires you to farm Dual Quest Phase 4 4 times in order to get 12 of the new Fusia capsules, because remember, you need 10 of these, and on top of that, you also need Foundia capsules. So in order to get the Foundia capsules, I think the best place is probably the time extension quest. Like if you just run the extermination is the one that I would recommend. But I don't actually know if the patrol mission drops the Foundia capsules, but I know that the extermination one does, so you can farm this over and over and over in order to get your Foundia capsules consistently that way. But nevertheless, it is going to be a huge time investment, but it is one of the best ways to make a ton of Meseta right now, especially if you have access to the player shop, because you know, these prices are crazy. These are really high prices, and I don't really know if it'll go higher. I think it might go a little bit higher, maybe to like 7.5, 8 million, but I don't really see people spending more than 8 million per Glan Gigas Maste, because you know, that's a lot of money. So in conclusion, the Glan Gigas Maste is worth a ton of money because it is the new capsule and gives incredible stats right now. So a lot of the wealthy endgame players are going to want to get that capsule, and thus there is a demand for it. However, there is low supply, and thus this is where you swoop in order to make a lot of money. But as usual, the higher gear you have, the more powerful your character is, the more choices you have in order to make money. So let's say that you have the worst gear, you're using like the seasonal event weapons, and you don't have a lot of potency, you're like 120%, 130% potency or whatever. Then unfortunately, you're just gonna have to farm the most lowest tier capsule, which is gonna be the Gigastat 4s, and sell them for about 30,000 a pop. However, if you want to move up and make a little bit more money, then you want to start farming Dual Quest Phase 1. In order to get all of those Fusia capsules, you collect all of your Gigastat 4s, you smash them together, make Gigas Mastes, and sell that. However, if you want to go a step even further, then you farm your own Gigas Mastes, and then you craft your own Glan Gigas Mastes, and you sell that, and you're going to make the most amount of money. However, this really depends on the market, because the market is always fluctuating, and on Ship 2 at its current state, you know, you're going to make a lot of money by making the Glan Gigas Mastes. However, you do need to occasionally check the market, because there are times where you might make more money selling just regular Gigas Mastes instead of combining them and crafting a Glan Gigas Maste. Alright, you need to kind of judge the market and think for yourself and look at the numbers yourself, because this is a free market on NGS. Things are always changing and things are always fluctuating. So all I can say is, at the time of this recording, Glan Gigas Mastes are a great way to make a ton of profit. However, you might want to look at just regular Gigas Mastes as well. Alright? Special thanks to all the members for supporting the channel. It really means a lot to me. Thank you again. But yeah, that's all I wanted to cover in today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful. If you did, I would appreciate a like and a subscribe, and I'll see you guys in tomorrow's video. Bye!